There's breaking news we're following right now. We've been watching the Republican-led Federal Communications Commission, where the commissioners just voted on the future of how the internet is going to be regulated. A panel voted along party lines to repeal what's called net neutrality. The Obama-era regulations were designed to keep the internet open and fair. Republicans, though, argue the rules stifle innovation. Once again, the FCC voting along party lines 3-2 to repeal net neutrality.
Taps out around $3 billion a year, but I think providing broadband is more like an order of magnitude more than that, probably $30 billion a year, as a rough approximation. And we're still like probably below 5% at that point. So it's not like, I want to be clear, like it's not like Starlink is some huge threat to telcos. I want to be super clear, it is not. In fact, it will be helpful to telcos because Starlink will serve the hardest to serve customers that telcos otherwise have trouble doing with landlines or even with cell radio stations, with cell towers. 5G is great for high density situations like being here in DC or New York, San Francisco, that kind of thing. 5G is great for high density situations, but it's actually not great for the countryside. For rural areas, it's not great. You need range, and so any kind of sparse environment, 5G is really not well suited. But it's great for city dense city situations. So Starlink will effectively serve the 3 or 4% hardest to reach customers for telcos, or people who simply have no connectivity right now, or the connectivity is really bad. So I think it will be actually helpful and take a significant load off the traditional telcos.
Working on a satellite, not Blue Origin, to draw the distinction, which is Jeff Bezos's space company.
Yeah, this is Amazon, and what this is called is Project Kuiper. It's named after the Kuiper Belt of icy objects out near Neptune's orbit, just to get really nerdy. And basically what it is going to be a constellation of low Earth orbit satellites, and they're going to beam broadband internet access to people around the world. Now, Amazon says they will make this a product that consumers can purchase, so this is not something that's going to be free or anything along those lines, but it should make internet more accessible to people in remote areas where you don't usually have access to something like that. So they're going to be launching somewhere in the order of between 3,000 satellites, I believe. Part of the issue is...
So I'm excited to announce the launch of AWS Ground Station, which is the world's first fully managed global ground station as a service. Maybe not what you were predicting. And so what it is it's a set of ground stations and antennas located all over the world in very close proximity and very frequently right on the same grounds as our global infrastructure and regions. And it gives customers on-demand access to these ground stations. No need to lease them up front, no need to try to build them or buy them, no big upfront costs. You can lease them and pay for it by the minute, with the preview starting today with a couple of those ground stations and 10 more coming in the early part of 2019. And here's how it'll work. So you figure out which ground station that you're going to want to interact with. You identify which satellite you're going to interact with, and you schedule effectively a contact time when you want that satellite to interact with the chosen ground station, when that satellite is going to pass by in close proximity to that ground station. And then each of those ground stations have multiple antennas, so you can simultaneously be downlinking and uplinking. That data connection is through a network that's in an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, or VPC. And that data gets downloaded directly into an Amazon VPC. So now it's in your AWS infrastructure to store durably and then to do whatever analytics and processing you want. Then it means instead of the old norm where it took hours or sometimes days, depending on how you were doing it, to get it to the infrastructure to actually process it, It's right there in the region where you can do it in seconds. And then, as I said earlier, you pay per use. You only pay by the minute that you use. So very exciting and a total game changer in how people can interact with satellites.
Welcome back to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, you know I come back with that second video just to make you think. Now, while everybody is being distracted, of course, they're moving, New World Order is moving fast speed. Now, going on to the White House website, on August 10th, Donald Trump unleashed America's 5G potential. Now, we know 5G hasn't been tested. We know our bodies can't handle it because of the millimeter wave. We know that in the military. It's a military weapon. Now, we had Jeff Bezos hired SpaceX Vice President to run the Amazon satellite Kuiper project, which of course comes from Kuiper, the Kuiper Belt, and the solar system. Now, basically, don't forget Amazon Cloud. Remember, Amazon wasn't making any money. The only thing that was making money for Amazon was the cloud, the AWS. So guys, just think about it. You go inside of a store, they're going to already know what you want based on these satellites, 5G. That's the whole point. Remember, internet, entering into the net, web, you get caught up in the World Wide Web. So guys, also, we have, of course, Elon Musk with the Starlink. Of course, that's FCC approved, just like Jeff Bezos. Now, Elon Musk, of course, says, hey, look, we're not competing against the telecoms, but the fact is that it's going to be 5G everywhere. Jeff Bezos is going to be 5G everywhere. Now, don't forget about the net neutrality laws. Remember, they rolled that back. So now you're going to have corporations being able to charge the smaller companies. And remember, we only have a few of internet providers. But guys, that's all I have for you, and y'all have a wonderful day.
The big game changer is that 5G will use much higher frequency bands than previously thought viable for mobile broadband and other applications. Such millimeter wave signals have physical properties that are both a limitation and a strength. They tend to travel best in narrow and straight lines, and they do not go through physical objects as well. But brilliant engineers have developed new antennas that can aim and amplify signals. Now, to make this work, the 5G build-out is going to be very infrastructure intensive, requiring massive deployment of small cells. I'm confident that the actions will lead to a cornucopia of unanticipated, innovative uses and will generate tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important, because it means that U.S. companies will be the first out of the gate. And that is why 5G is a national priority. And stay out of the way of technological development. Unlike some countries, we do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate. The future has a way of inventing itself. Turning innovators loose is far preferable to expecting committees and regulators to define the future. We won't wait for the standards. We're already seeing the industry gearing up to seize this opportunity. Verizon and AT&T tell us they'll begin deploying 5G trials in 2017, and the first commercial deployments they're talking about are expected in 2020. And we're not done. As part of our July 14 action, we also plan to ask for comments on opening up other high-frequency bands. Many of the high-frequency bands that we will make available for 5G currently have some satellite users, as well as some Defense Department applications, or at least the possibility of future satellite and defense users. This means sharing will be required between satellite and terrestrial wireless, an issue that is especially relevant in the 28 gigahertz band. But if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way. If something can be connected, it will be connected. Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers. We must reject the notion that the 5G future will be the sole provenance of urban areas. The 5G revolution will touch all corners of our country. A lot more antenna siting decisions by local governments.